Welcome back. There was certainly no lack of buildup for the second presidential debate last night. Anderson Cooper came right out of the gate asking Donald Trump to comment on the graphic remarks he made on a leaked video from 2005. Listen to his response.
And you have 2 minutes for this.
As I told you, that was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it. I am a person who has great respect for people, for my family, for the people of this country, and certainly I'm not proud of it. But that was something that happened. If you look at Bill Clinton, far worse, minor words, and his was action.
All right, I want to get the opinion of the younger generations here. My panel of millennials, Democratic strategist Jessica Tarlov, attorney Christi Kunzig, and conservative commentator Kirsten Haglund is with us. Good to see you, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
First, I want to get your thoughts on Trump's comments after watching the video. What did you think? Did your opinion of Trump change at all post-video?
I mean, I don't think anyone that saw that and has been following the election for the last year was surprised at all with what he said. Doesn't make it good or excuse it. But I think that he really missed that opportunity. So many people throughout the weekend, from his team inside the campaign, knew that he had to make a concerted, contrite, and humble apology. Because who is he going after? He's not going after his base. He's got them. He's going after suburban-educated, college-educated women.
Right.
That's who that apology needed to be for, and the way that he dismissed it and moved on very quickly, it wasn't humble, and I think that he lost a great opportunity there.
Wow. Okay, I think this is a really important point you're making, because, yes, nobody is surprised that Donald Trump made lewd comments about women in private. We know Donald Trump, for the last year, no one's surprised at that. But did he actually apologize well enough? Kirsten said no.
I don't think so either, though. I'm sure that won't shock the panel that I feel that way. I mean, it was a very successful pivot, though, and I'll give him credit for that. That he, was at Bill Clinton within, 15 seconds, and then he was, at ISIS 30 seconds after that. I don't particularly think the Bill Clinton attacks are going to be effective. I think that people have baked in what they think about Bill Clinton and also what Hillary's role may or may not have been in dealing with this. But I think major missed opportunity. And, now he's down 30 points with white educated women, college-educated women, and I only see that going up from here. But the real issue with the tape, and I agree with you, not shocking at all, what this did was it gave the GOP establishment some fodder that they could actually finally get rid of him and say, they had never liked him to begin with. So this was enough evidence, it was in his voice, and it was lewd enough in talking about really assault that they could step back. So that's what happened.
And Blake Berman reported earlier there's a conference call today by the House leadership. We'll see what they say about Trump overall. Overall, last night, how do you grade Donald Trump's performance? Let me kick it off with you, Christi.
I think he was great. I think at first when he came out, he seemed a little bit defeated, and I was kind of worried about how the night was going to go, and I think Clinton took it off strong. But I think that once we got through the video comments, he really nailed it. We got the regular Trump back. He was strong, he was assertive, and I think he answered things well. And
so you give him an A?
I gave him an A, absolutely.
Him an A. So you think he did a good job of offsetting or responding to the lewd tape?
I think he did. I wasn't really offended by it in the first place. And
because you expected?
Not because I expected, just because, big deal. He said a couple things. Okay. It was a while ago. Is that ideally what I want from a president?
Okay.
No, but
it's fine.
But it's fine.
No, of course it's fine.
Look,
I'm just surprised.
A lot of people this weekend said to me, this is turning into a race about what he said versus what she did.
Well, but then there was the woman.
So that's, I think, what you're speaking to right here.
He did those things that he said in the tape. Nancy O'Dell has come out and said that she was the woman in those tapes. There are many people that know her and know that that happened.
The woman whose story came out this weekend from 1992.
He did actually do these things.
Okay. What's your grade?
I gave him a C+, a little above average, because he definitely improved from the first debate. He was his typical Donald Trump self, who the base loves, and he really landed those attacks on Hillary Clinton, which he didn't do in the first debate. But as a conservative, as someone who wanted to hear more about his actual policy plan and really cast a vision for this country rather than just complain and attack, I think he missed that opportunity. Of course, those white women voters, you've got to go after the independents in this election.
They both did. I still don't know what Hillary wants to do with Iran.
Yeah, no, she didn't cast a vision
still don't know what Donald Trump wants to do in terms of foreign policy. I agree with you on policy.
Yeah.
We just, that's what's getting left on the cutting room floor, unfortunately, because of all of these big headlines.
30 minutes.
Jessica, what's your grade for Donald Trump?
I actually gave him a B+. So
high.
No, I think, if we're talking
for my Republican Party here.
No, and I understand that. I think that the bar was so low for him going into this, and we could have spent half an hour, even longer talking about these tapes, and he got through them so quickly, and it was a base rallying move. I agree. I don't think he got any new voters last night into his camp, but I think he reassured his base. So he's saying all weekend, I'm not going to drop out, and he showed them, I'm here and I came to play. I just want to add, though, in terms of the tape, I thought, you know, that it actually wasn't the most important news story of Friday. His comments about the Central Park Five, where he essentially said that the DNA evidence that exonerated them shouldn't count, was the most disturbing thing. And I also wonder, in terms of the tape, and I don't know if you want to comment on this, you know, it took him talking about white women for us to be outraged at this level. He's been making comments about African Americans, Latinos, the disabled throughout this election. And as you said, you know, we know who Donald Trump is. But that was disturbing to me. There are all these groups that he has been offending and talking about in such disparaging ways for well over a year. And this is what it took to get us here. And that bothers me.
Moderator did okay? The moderators?
I was not a fan. I think Anderson Cooper was fine, but Martha Raddatz, I think there was a point where I thought she was going to jump on stage. She was debating
inserted
Donald
herself
Trump.
quite a few times.
No, that was not wise on her part, especially because that's exactly what Trump's biggest supporters often say, is that the moderators, that it's rigged and all of that.
Great line that it was 3-on-1.
Yes.
Right.
Which, I mean, they will love, and conservatives, even who don't love Donald Trump, will run with that. And it was smart.
All right, ladies, great info. Thank you so much. We're going to